Save money when you learn how to make DIY rosewater at home in 5 easy steps. Use this homemade rosewater as a natural air freshener, a body spray, a hair mask, or a makeup setting spray. Watch until the very end for a bonus idea! Step 1. Gather rose petals. If you plan to use your DIY rosewater on your hair or skin, or if you plan to ingest it in, say, a cup of tea, I would recommend using organic roses. I gathered fresh petals from my mom's rose bushes. These knockout roses are probably organic, but they might have been watered with Miracle-Gro. That's okay for me because I'm just using this as a fragrant air spray. I would avoid petals that have been sprayed with pesticides because the chemicals could seep into your rosewater. If you don't have fresh roses, you could opt to use dried rose petals. The variety and freshness of your rose petals can impact how concentrated your rosewater turns out, but any rose petals should work. Step 2. Clean the petals. I didn't film this part, but I rinsed my petals off under running water to get rid of any dirt, bugs, or debris that might have been on the petals. After rinsing, I put them into a clean mason jar. Step 3. Boil some water. If you want to use the DIY rosewater on your hair or skin, or if you plan to ingest it, distilled water is your best bet because it won't have anything added. I didn't have distilled water on hand, so instead I used a water bottle that has some salts and minerals added. I'm okay with that because, hey, it's still natural. You want to boil enough water to completely submerge your rose petals. I gathered about a half cup of petals, so I'm going to use a 1-to-1 ratio and boil a half cup of water. You may want to start with extra water so you have enough left after it reaches the boil. This measurement is not at all exact, and I even added more water after the fact. More water just means it's less concentrated. Step 4. Hit the like button. Okay, that's not really step 4, but I would appreciate the support. Thanks, y'all! The real step 4. Steep your rose petals. Once your water reaches a vigorous boil, carefully pour the water into the mason jar with the rose petals. Since it is still very hot, I'm setting the lid on, but I'm not screwing it on tightly. Once the water vapor has condensed, then I'll screw the lid closed. Leave the roses in the water for 3 days. Really, this step is like brewing tea using rose petals instead of tea leaves. Steeping it for less time or more time will just change the concentration. Over time, you should see the color leave your petals and make the water pink. Step 5. Strain your rosewater. After 3 days, I strained the mixture through a coffee filter, but you could also use a strainer or cheesecloth. Last of all, pour your rosewater into your desired container and your homemade rosewater is now ready for use. Since we use natural ingredients, this rose spray will not last forever, but you can extend the shelf life of your DIY rosewater by storing it in the fridge. Bonus idea! As promised at the beginning of this video, here is a bonus idea. If your rosewater isn't super fragrant, or if you want to create a custom scent, try adding a couple drops of essential oil. I added 2 drops of doTERRA's Citrus Blend Essential Oil, and y'all, it smells so good. If you do add essential oils, just make sure to store it in a dark glass container. Oils can eat through plastics, and the dark color will stop sunlight from breaking down the oil molecules. I've included some links below about ways to use rosewater. Obviously, check with your doctor before using rosewater for a medical purpose. I plan to use mine as a fragrance, but let me know in the comments how you will use your homemade rosewater. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching and happy crafting!